up, guys? So today we're going to be talking about Shift to Unleashed for the Xbox 360 and also the PlayStation 3. Alright, so Shift to Unleashed is the game that we've been told was going to be the most perfect racing game ever, and it was going to basically knock all the other simulation games off the shelves. And that basically this is going to be the most realistic driving experience ever. Alright? That sounds pretty awesome, alright? Actually, I actually followed the game during its release and stuff, and actually watched some previews on YouTube, been watching all the developer diaries, and this game actually had promise. It actually had an opportunity to be a very good racing game and actually set itself apart from all the others. Well, unfortunately, this game's so freaking awful that it turns out that the game's nothing but an unplayable driving game. And let me show you what I'm talking about. So Shift to Unleashed is basically a racing game, although it has some simulation elements and also some arcade elements, alright? So we basically have the career side, basically how all of the racers have. We have the career side, which are then organized into different parts for different cars and types of cars and stuff like that, so everything's sort of balanced and equal. Just the regular racing criteria, how they always have that, you participate in careers, you move on to the next. Well, this freaking game has some weird thing where they make you start a career and then they don't let you finish it. You start and they do one event in one of the careers, right? You're just starting out, so in the first career you do one event, all right? And then you do the second event. Well, guess what? You can't do the third, fourth, or fifth event because you don't have the car qualified to do so. So what do? They make you go start another event, which then allows you to basically say, okay, now I have to multitask between this event, which I just started, and then another event, which I just started. So instead of finishing the event all at once and actually continuing into the next one like it should be in all other racing games, they actually make you start an event and then start another event because you don't have the car that's eligible for this certain event in the race. If the car is not freaking eligible for one of the events, or the seasons in the actual racing game, then what the hell is it called the first event for? You're supposed to pick your, basic car, the one that, basically, your first time car, so you get a variety of choices, Mazdas, Infinitis, and stuff like that, right? And you choose that car and you do an event. Alright? That car should be eligible for every single event in the freaking season. Instead, they make you go to a career, they say, oh, I'm sorry, your driver, car index rating, whatever it's called, is not high enough to participate in this event, so therefore, the car is ineligible. Wow. So, now I have to go start the other event, which then makes me angry because now I have to go multitask between the first event again, which should have been completed before I even started the second event. Alright, so now I'm on the second event. I started this one, started earning a little bit more cash to basically boost my car's performance by upgrading it and tuning it and stuff like that. But guess what? It's still not high enough. So I think, well, maybe I shouldn't have to go buy another car. So I go do some more events. Keep in mind that I'm not just starting another event, I'm starting like 3 or 4 events. I'm starting all these events at once. So now I have to multitask between all of them. What the fuck did you think? Honestly, when you're making this game, did you actually think that would be necessary? Do you think that people would want to multitask between One career, another career, a third career, a fourth career, a fifth career, and then go all the way back to the first career, then to the third career, the second career, fourth career. I mean, it doesn't make any sense, alright? I don't care if it's unique and that's, how Shift does it. That's not how every racing game does it. And the way every racing game does it does it perfectly. So this game falls short on careers and, UI because it does everything out of order. It seems that everything in the menus and stuff is unorganized. So, what does that mean for you? It means that instead you get this unorganized piece of crap game that basically makes you start starting all events at once and then you get to go all the way back to the first event again. Thanks. That's exactly what I wanted to do. Multitask. This game's multitasking at its best for career choice. Alright? There, I knocked the career out of the way. Let's go talk about graphics. Graphics. Graphics of Shift 2 Unleashed. They're good. They're up to par with all the other racing games out there. And, it looks pretty good. All the car qualities are matched, not like GT5. Alright, so that's a plus. I had to actually add that in the reviews now because Gran Turismo 5 side, we don't have enough, we didn't have the 5 years was like not enough time to make this freaking game have perfect design and graphic qualities for all our cars. Therefore, we have to divide into premium and standard. Alright, no. This game, they do a good job on the graphics. Each car is equally matched. All the cars look great. They all, sound great. That's nice. And the environments look good too. Some like buildings, in the distance and stuff like that. Some of the buildings could use a little bit of work, but for the most part, you're driving and stuff, like the environment around you is very good looking. It looks like a really good game. Alright? It's a good graphical game. I have no problem with the graphics. They're great. There's a lot of good reflections. I love the volumetric lighting effects as I'm driving towards the sunset. It's great, alright? Definitely during the night settings. The night settings look believably, just realistic. It's awesome, alright? So, the most realistic driving experience. Is this the most realistic driving experience in terms of graphics? Yeah. The game looks great. I love the new helmet cam where, you can actually see your helmet's borders and stuff as you're driving. I love how my character looks over to the side to let you know where you're supposed to turn, so it's not like you're just like, I don't know which way, there's two ways, left or right. Alright, now at least your character looks over so you actually know what to do, alright? I like that, alright? The interior of the cars looks great. I like how it blurs out when I'm actually going faster or I'm about to go over to a turn. It's nice and it's realistic because I'm not paying attention to the quality of the radio in the car when I'm about to make a right turn. I'm looking out the window. So therefore, the game blurs both your, interior and, what do we call this? The roof, where the mirrors are, okay? It blurs all that out, so all you can see is the front windshield and, out that. And it looks great. That's how it's supposed to be. In fact, when you're driving, I mean, you're probably not noticing it, but when you're focusing on something specifically, I can't see all this around me. It's all kind of blurry. It's kind of out of focus, alright? So, that's nice. It's realistic. That's the way it should be, alright? I like the graphics of the game. I think they're nice. I don't have a problem with them, but I have a problem with everything else. Everything else. So let's go ahead and move on to gameplay.
Nail that first corner, come on!
Gameplay. The one part where this game needed to succeed. Gameplay. We all saw gameplay from this before it came out, at least I have. It looked great, it looked outstanding. We all saw the teaser trailer on Hot Pursuit, and it looked hectic. Alright, it looked chaotic. It's everything but that. I like the driving experience, like I stated in the graphics, but the gameplay is so unbelievably unrealistic that you can't even adapt to the driving controls, and it makes this game undrivable. How hilarious is this? A driving game that's undrivable. I'm sorry. I'm using an Xbox 360 controller, alright? I know it's not going to give me a realistic experience, but it doesn't mean I should go ahead and buy freaking accessories to make this game actually drive well. I shouldn't have to do that, alright? That was the game. So, the driving. Every car handles horribly. It has light handling, they all feel heavy. Some feel, kind of fast. It depends on the car you're driving, of course, but they just don't have that feeling that Gran Turismo or Forza or even Hot Pursuit. You can tell the difference in Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, a game that's solely based on arcade racing. This game, trying to enter itself into the simulation genre, fails completely. The game drives like shit. It's hard to even control your car. It feels like you have to stop completely on the brake and then turn all the way over so you can just make a slight right turn. What were they thinking? They hired professional race drivers. How the fuck do professional race drivers know? How do they know anything about racing games? They're out there doing the real thing, alright? I don't need people saying, well, we look at this way and this is how we drive, so they don't know shit about racing games, alright? They don't know how to, how the driving mechanics work and what the player is looking at, alright? They do the real thing, okay? They don't know shit about racing games, alright? In fact, the professional drivers are there yelling orders at you throughout the whole entire game. They're sitting there saying, when you drift, make sure you hold down the left trigger and you turn your left analog stick over to the right or to the left, and that's how to drift. And make sure you accelerate out of the turn but not into a turn because it could be dangerous. If you play racing games, that's standard stuff. What the hell did you hire professional racers for if the game's gonna handle like utter shit? That is the most epic fail that you could possibly do in a racing game. Let's pay all these professional racers millions of dollars to come here and help us make this game. And then the game turns out to be shit. It handles like shit. The game's completely shit, alright? I'm looking at it right now and the front cover's cool. Alright? It looks promising. Shift to Unleashed. With a title like that, it looks promising. But it doesn't deliver what it's supposed to be. Why would you hire professional racers in here and still have the controls be the way they were? Gran Turismo is drivable. Forza is drivable. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit is drivable. Split Second is drivable. Blur was better than this game. The moment I popped this game into my Xbox 360, it was a fail. My Xbox 360 chewed it up and said, what the hell is this? Alright? I was like, it's a new game, it looks cool. Do not believe a word any of the public says. IGN, an 8.5. 8.5. The game that has so horrible controls, has unorganized career options, but, up to par graphics, and you get it in 8.5. Saying that this was a great entry to a series and that it's a constantly improving series. No, it's not. You know what game should have gotten an 8.5? Test Drive Unlimited 2. Instead, you gave that game a 5 or 6. I can't even remember. That game should have got a 5. Need for Speed Shift 2 should have got a 5. Why did you give it an 8.5? The reviews on Gamefly, which I rented this game from, they all were giving it like 6. It dropped from like 9 to 6 in like a day. everyone agrees with me on this. The game handles like shit, you can't control your car, unorganized career options, standard graphics and all, but controls are lackluster. Professional racers do not need to be in my game. You can hire Jeff Gordon and say, make a good NASCAR game, alright? What the hell does Jeff Gordon know about making a NASCAR game, alright? He would only be able to help with the perspective and what people are actually doing during that game. He wouldn't actually know how to program the game and make it actually feel like you're actually driving a NASCAR, alright? You'll never get a realistic experience out of any game, alright? And the reason is because games today are played through a computer screen and a controller. I don't care if you have motion controls in there and Kinect and stuff like that. That doesn't help, alright? That immerses me more into the game, but I'm never going to get that sense. You're not going to get into this game, drive 120 miles an hour and say, I'm ready to do this. And get into your GTR and drive 150 miles an hour on the freeway. It's going to be a lot different. You can never get a realistic portrayal of real life sequence out of any game. Alright? You might say, I'm a badass in Call of Duty. I want to go to war. Really? Take your professional gaming skills and then take a person who's been in the army for like 3 years. Really? You'll get shot in like 5 seconds. With this game, you want to take the controls out of this and put it in real life, there'd be billions of car accidents every day. The car accidents that happen today in our everyday world would double instantly. I forgot to talk about the AI now. Alright, the AI, the artificial intelligence. Just FYI if you would actually know what that means. The artificial intelligence is beyond hard. I thought it was just me. I started the game on normal just like every single game I play. Medium, normal difficulty, right? The AI's so hard. You may think of veteran difficulty on Call of Duty being hard. No. Normal difficulty on this game is like trying to survive, like, what's a good example? Put like Battlefield, but put it like one-shot kills in multiplayer. It's like that. The AI is completely, insanely hard. It feels like you're the newbie to the racing genre, or you basically just got in a racing car, right? And you're racing against professional racers. And it feels like they're beating you. And you're keep on saying, well, obviously they beat me, they're professional racers and I'm a newbie, right? I thought it was just me. I put the freaking difficulty on easy. I switched it to easy for the first time in a while that I ever done that in any game. I never had to do that in a game. It's always been, okay, normal difficulty, it's fine. I just switched to easy. There's no difference. You know what happens with the AI? They're on your ass 24/7. If you're first place, you better learn how to freaking drive. If you crash into one spot, if you go off the road, if you fuck up once, and someone passes you, you better say goodbye to your position, because you're not getting it back. If you're in first place and 3 people pass you, you're getting 4th place. It's simple as that. The AI, when they pass you, there's no, you passing them, okay? Unless you crash into them and you do some crazy shit, alright? There's not even that possibility, alright? The AI is difficult as hell. They're pretty smart and stuff, but it feels like you're the person who just got into, are just driving for the first time, and you're going up against a professional racer. That's how it feels, and it's frustrating because you're sitting here wanting to throw the controller at the freaking screen, and you just have to, keep restarting matches because you have to get 3rd place, 2nd place, or 1st place in order to pass the events. The AI is difficult. It's more than difficult. It's so hard that basically you can't pass them. They're like unbeatable AI, which sucks. So there's so many things wrong with this game. And the sad thing is, this game had promise. I was very excited to put this game in. I put it on Twitter, I was like, gonna go play Shift 2 Unleashed today, booyah. I was excited to play this game, and it turned out to be shit. How can you possibly go so wrong? How could you go so wrong with the game that honestly could have been something special and unique. I don't understand it. The game's horrible, don't get it, unorganized career, good graphics, horrible controls, horrible AI, well not horrible, okay, insanely difficult AI, and the game basically is just shit. The game is deemed undrivable. I hereby approve this game the worst game of the first quarter of 2011, alright? I haven't played Mindjack at all. I know a lot of people say that's the worst game of 2011. Let's say that is the worst game of 2011 so far, alright? This would be second place, alright? It's at the same time hilarious and very sad how you can go so wrong. With a franchise that's great at racing games. Need for Speed does an excellent job. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit came out, in 2010, holiday 2010. That was the first game I ever reviewed that I gave a perfect 10 out of 10 from. It was everything a racing game should be. Perfect. Alright? Hot Pursuit was perfect. This game is everything but perfect. Alright? Honestly, the first shift was better than this. I like the first shift. Alright? How could you go so wrong? It's just sad, and at the same time, it's hilarious, alright? EA, you really fucked up. You should have done something that actually, make this game drivable for once. I don't need professional racers to make a good game, alright? Honestly. I'm gonna give this game a 4 out of 10. I was gonna give it a 6, but fuck that. It gets a 4 out of 10. Graphics aren't everything, alright? 4 out of 10 from this game. Do not buy it. Don't even look at this game when it's on the shelf. If you look at this game that's on the shelf, take another game. If I can find one. Here. If this game's sitting here right on the shelf, take another game and put it right over it. Alright? Save people from purchasing this game. Please. Four out of 10. Okay? Fuck that. It deserves to be upside down. Alright? 4 out of 10. Horrible game. Do not purchase it. Fuck this game.